But the United States military just gave itself the power to be able to use lethal force against American citizens, like on American soil. Like, this is absolutely insane. I could not believe it. So let's get into it. So there's this thing called the DoD Directive 5240.01. If you want to go read this, it just got updated on September 27, 2024. And get this. So now the military can jump in and assist law enforcement with the use of lethal force in certain situations. So let that sink in for a second. Lethal force against citizens, military. So, and I'm talking in like absolute real language here. Like, this is the legal language that is being used. So here's the directive, section 3.3A2C, literally says, lethal force can be used under imminent threats or national security emergencies. So what is an imminent threat? I don't know. The directive doesn't define what an imminent threat is. It doesn't say it clearly. But we know this. When they decide that something's a threat, the military will be able to use deadly force. So here's what the text says exactly. The use of lethal force may be authorized in circumstances involving imminent threats. So yeah, in there is sort of black and white. The military now has a hand in what is happening on the U.S. soil in a completely new way. So you guys are like losing in the Middle East. So instead, you decided you wanted to come and attack the citizens here, right? But it gets worse. So there's this other part, which is the 72-hour rule that has now been buried inside of this directive, because this directive is something that already existed. It just recently got updated with new clauses, which is what I'm talking about here. So in the new directive, it says that military leaders can act immediately in certain situations without needing permission for up to 72 hours. So immediately, if they decide that they want to do something, no permission is needed. That is insane. They can make the decisions on their own, and they only need to tell the higher-ups after the fact. 72 hours where they could literally choose to do whatever they think is necessary, no questions asked, and then later be like, oh yeah, by the way, we did that. Oh yeah, by the way, we felt that those protesters that were protesting against Israel, we felt that they were a threat to national security because one of them was wearing a hijab, and now all of a sudden I thought they were a part of like Hamas or something, right? So here's where it gets even sketchier. So the update comes right before the presidential election, and we already know what happened January 6th. We already know where this country is going to go with this election, no matter who wins. Let the Democrats lose, and we know who's on the street. Let the Republicans lose, and we know who's on the street. But no matter what, this nation is so hyper-polarized to the point to where whoever wins, we will see reactions. And the fact that this is now a clause that gives the military the capability to use lethal force is just insane. And what's crazy is that this isn't even about physical force either. This directive changes the way that military intelligence works. The military can now work with the law enforcement on whatever they call real concerns. So the real concern is that civil liberties, such as our privacy, our right to protest, even free speech, all of this could be affected. So what if you're trying to question the election, or if you're trying to question the vaccine policies or anything of this sort that we already know, like as far as in the media, is something that's like kind of like a no-no topic, right? So all of that could be labeled as a threat. Or what if you're trying to protest the active genocide that we're witnessing in the Middle East? Is this a threat? You want to protect babies and children and families? No, you can't do that. You must be Hamas, right? So I'm not even trying to be far-fetched here. Like, what government would give themselves the ability to use lethal force against its own citizens? Why? Why is this needed, and why is this a clause that we would even need to add? And let's not forget, the government already has a monopoly on violence. As a Marxist, we know this. They literally run the ability to use violence. That is what the law enforcement is, and that is what the military is for other places, right? But no longer. They can also do it here. So, I mean, police, courts, and all of this is, what's the purpose, right? Like, what's due process? I thought Americans cared about freedom. I thought they were the freedom fighters of the world. I thought what was happening in the Middle East was a representation of what again? Standing up for democracy, right? Like, this is democracy right here. We're witnessing democracy in real time, guys. I hope you guys are with me on this. So There's no major headlines on this. I don't see anyone talking about it. I don't see other content creators making videos on this. Like, I feel like this is it's just quietly been updated and no one is talking about this. And I wanted to make this video so that you can remain informed. So again, I just want to tell you the title of this document. You can go read the entire document, the new updated document if you want. It's called the DoD Directive 5240.01. Again, it just got updated on September 27, 2024. So this is the world that we're living in. If you're an American, this is the current standing of our government and the choices they've made. If you enjoyed this video, I appreciate you for being here with me as we discuss this. And I hope that you can shoot me a follow, share this video with someone else that lives in this country.